Overseas Filipino workers, the modern-day heroes of the Philippines. In the Philippines, a bayani is someone who is courageous, humble, and selfless. Bayani is the Tagalog term for hero. They champion causes greater than themselves, affecting communities, nations, or the environment. The term Overseas Filipino workers, OFWs, refers to Filipino migrant workers who have left their homeland to work abroad, aiming to provide better lives for their families. Former President Corazon Aquino labeled these workers as Bagong Bayani in 1988, recognizing them as the nation's modern-day heroes. OFWs contribute significantly to the Philippines' economy through remittances and embody resilience, enduring homesickness, personal sacrifices, and often harsh working conditions to support their loved ones back home. The majority of overseas Filipino workers, OFWs, are employed in Asia, particularly in Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Hong Kong, Kuwait, Singapore, and Qatar. OFWs are considered the nation's economic heroes due to their significant contributions to the growth and development of the Philippine economy. The Central Bank of the Philippines reported that remittances from OFWs hit a new record in December 2023, increasing by 3.6% from the previous record of $34.9 billion to an all-time high of $36.1 billion in 2022. According to Pinoy OFW, overseas contract workers are regarded as modern-day heroes due to the various hardships they endure, physical, mental, social, and emotional, while working abroad for their families and making significant contributions to their country's economy and development. Overseas Filipino workers, OFWs, contribute significantly to remittance inflows, making the Philippines the world's fourth-largest recipient of foreign remittances. These remittances bolster the country's economic growth by helping to reduce poverty and ensuring a stable flow and circulation of cash. Not only do OFW remittances meet the basic needs of their families, but they also sustain the nation's economy by supplying liquidity during global financial crises. OFW remittances constitute the second-largest source of the country's foreign reserves. In certain instances, overseas Filipino workers, OFWs, find themselves in substandard working conditions. Many Filipinos, unable to secure employment in the Philippines due to inadequate education or insufficient work experience, seek jobs abroad to meet their families' fundamental needs. Predominantly, women take on roles as caregivers and domestic workers. Even in the face of challenging employment circumstances, they persevere in laboring abroad to sustain their families. Overseas Filipino workers, OFWs, endure the hardship of being separated from their families. Among their greatest sacrifices is the emotional distance from loved ones, missing their children's birthdays, being unable to care for ailing parents, or to be present at family funerals. OFWs suffer from the detrimental effects of loneliness and homesickness. The emotional toll of working abroad, particularly homesickness and loneliness, can be overwhelming, especially for the young and inexperienced. Filipinos, known for their strong family bonds, find the years spent away from loved ones to be agonizing. They forgo the cherished value of family for employment opportunities. Working overseas can be a physically and mentally grueling experience for overseas Filipino workers, OFWs, with uncertain futures and potential risks abroad. Tragically, some OFWs have been sent back to their homeland, having fallen prey to terrorism, substandard working conditions, unfair treatment, and some would face abusive treatment from employers. OFWs are often driven by the dream of sending their children or siblings to school. Education is seen as a key to breaking the cycle of poverty. For many OFWs, the remittances they send cover food, housing, and healthcare expenses for their families. Without this support, their loved ones may struggle to survive. Many aim to provide their families with a better standard of living, such as owning a home, starting a business, or ensuring financial security in old age. OFWs often serve as the backbone of their families back home. Based on the results of a survey published by the social weather stations, they found that 7% of Filipino households have an OFW who helps support the family. In addition, 75% of households frequently receive money from their OFW family members. To promote a better quality of life for OFWs, the Philippine government must enact concrete policies aimed at protecting the welfare of Filipino workers. Advocacy groups, such as Migrante International, are urging for reforms, including the abolition of the kafala system, which has resulted in complete employer control over domestic workers and OFWs. Migrante International chairperson Joanna Concepcion told Vice World News, "To promote a better quality of life for OFWs, the Philippine government must enact concrete policies aimed at protecting the welfare of Filipino workers." Concepcion added, "The Philippine government should implement immediate measures to protect our domestic workers and OFWs abroad, and long-term measures to generate decent jobs in the Philippines. We need to end the government's labor export program and instead ensure that more jobs are created at home. Filipinos won't have to leave the country and their families to risk their lives abroad if they have gainful and secure employment in the country."